Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, our very special China travel show for you today. Yes, we're celebrating all things China today, including the launch of the new brochure, the new holiday collection, touring collection from Wendy Woo Tours, which is out right now. If you haven't yet got your brochure, please do check on the website, go to the brochure ordering section and make sure you get your brand new China brochure. Really, really hot. Yes, China is back, well and truly back, the #1 destination, the #1 bucket list travel destination that we all want to visit is back. And this is what today's show is all about. We're going to be meeting the travel experts, the China travel team, who will be guiding you through the best experiences and the best tours in China. As well, we're going to be looking at the perfect tour, the best tour for first timers. If you're new to China, haven't travelled before, there is so much to see and do and experiences. You want to make sure that you get the right tour. And of course, we're going to be going off the beaten track as well, looking at those tours that veer off the beaten track, looking at the authentic, the immersive experiences that China is well and truly renowned for. Yes, lots coming up, and a very special one for you indeed, a brand new tour. I'm not going to say too much about it right now because you'll hear about it later in the show, but that is China by rail. Yes, brand new from Wendy Woo Tours for next year, 2024. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as always with our travel shows, please do stay with us until the end of the show, because that's when we're going to be opening up our VIP Travel Lounge, and that's your opportunity to meet the China team, to meet the experts, to ask all the questions that you want to ask about travelling in China, touring in China, and touring with Wendy Woo Tours. It's a great opportunity to also mingle with other guests as well. We'll have a good time in the Travel Lounge. So do stay with us until the end of the show. So let's get started. Bags packed, passports ready. Let's head off to China now.
Hi everyone, this is Ivy from Xi'an, China. I can't wait to welcome you back to China after so long. The country is looking better than ever. Everyone is so excited to see you. Enjoy the show.
So ladies and gentlemen, I'm now joined by Lee Holden. Lee Holden is Head of Marketing here at Wendy Woo Tours. Lee, great to see you today.
Great to see you too, Andy, and to everybody at home too.
Brilliant. Now, I've got Lee in specially for you, ladies and gentlemen, because Lee was part of the group that actually travelled out to China earlier this year, spring of this year, to kind of see what China was really like. Was China ready to be open? You know, what was the warmth like, etc. So very, very special. We're glad that we've got Lee here. Lee, I mean, I've seen some of the pictures, the videos of your trip. Looks sensational. China looks amazing.
Yeah.
But why China, Lee? Why after all this time does China still got that hold for us?
Well, I think that really, Andy, it was sensational. It was the most incredible trip, and I think the reason that people want to go back to China now is the same reason they always wanted to go back, in that there's nowhere like China. You're looking at a country that's got 4,000 years of history and sites that you just can't see anywhere else. Great Wall of China, the Terracotta Army, and the natural spectacles are amazing as well. The scenery of places like Guilin, the mountains of Yunnan and Sichuan, the deserts, the variety is just incredible. On top of that, you have a culture that's absolutely unique. Nowhere like it in the world. The food is incredible, the people are so different, so many different groups all the way through the country. So I think when people say to me, well, why would you go to China? It's because there are just things in China that you can't see anywhere else. Where else in the world can you see giant pandas? Nowhere, only in China. So those attractions are something that has always been part of China. But what makes it particularly special at the moment is that China's been closed to international tourists for 3 years, the longest lockdown for anybody, and now it's open. The excitement in the country of seeing us and seeing visitors was absolutely palpable. The warmth, the affection, the welcome from everybody there. They were so excited to see us, and it just made travelling in China a really unique time to go and a really special experience.
Sounds amazingly. So ladies and gentlemen, it all sounds amazing, doesn't it? The sights, the culture, everything about China. But Lee, why China with Wendy Woo Tours?
Well, simply put, Andy, nobody knows China like Wendy Woo Tours. Wendy was one of the first people to lead a tour into China 25 years ago. And in those 25 years, she's developed a touring program in China that is second to none. We have tours ranging from 8 days to 28 days, over 24 different tours to choose from in China, and they go everywhere from the iconic sites like the pandas, the Great Wall, the Terracotta Army, but also more off the beaten track destinations like Sichuan, Yunnan, and the Silk Road. Quite simply, if you go to China, you have to go with Wendy Woo Tours.
So ladies and gentlemen, yes, so much to see. The cities, the authentic experiences. Lee, it looks amazing. What's it really like on tour then with Wendy Woo Tours in China?
Well, our tours in China, Andy, much like our tours everywhere, we design them so carefully so that they have all of the sites that you want to see, all of the experiences that you want to do, and all of the great food that you want to eat as well. And China is where we perfected that formula. So we cram your days with experiences that you just can't get anywhere else. So one day you may be doing a Tai Chi lesson, the next you might be learning your hand at calligraphy, you might be seeing an acrobatic show, you might be learning Kung Fu, you may be talking to one of the original farmers that discovered the Terracotta Army. These kind of experiences really help you get under the skin of the country so that you come back feeling like you've really experienced it and not just seeing the sights. And of course, we design the itineraries so carefully to maximise your time in the country. We understand that this may be the only time you go to China, and you absolutely want to see everything there is to see and come back feeling like there is nothing that you've missed. The key plank of us at Wendy Woo Tours is our national escorts. They'll be with you from the moment you land in China to the moment you leave. Every step of the way, they look after you like your family. They are the absolute jewels in the crown of Wendy Woo Tours. They're full of enthusiasm, full of excitement, and they will show you a side of the country that you just wouldn't be able to get yourself if you were just sightseeing around on your own. Each one of them is born and raised in China. They all have at least 5 years experience. Most of them have many more. And for many people, the escorts are actually things that they come back and talk about the most. If you look at the reviews of our site, hundreds of the reviews of our China tours, they're all talking about how this tour was just made that extra bit special by the quality of our national escorts.
Amazing, Lee, amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find out lots more about China in the new brochure that's out now. Do make sure you get your copy. Lee, it's been amazing. Thank you so much. We're really super excited about this. Thank you for your time today.
You're welcome, Andy.
China is finally open and really open and welcome us with open arms in Shanghai.
Welcome everybody. We're on the Bund in Shanghai, one of the most famous attractions in China. 3 years ago, this place would have been thronging with international tourists. And as you can see, we're the only ones here. So come and join us in China and see it like it was 30 years ago.
It's just a couple of weeks since China announced that it was reopening to international tourism. And just in that couple of weeks, we're the first to hear about it, and we are the first to be back at Wendy Woo Tours. And we cannot wait to welcome you back to China.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a real treat for you now. I'm joined by Rebecca Smith, Head of Product here at Wendy Woo Tours. Rebecca, good to see you today.
Thanks, Andy. Good to see you.
Now, Rebecca is in charge of the China programme, putting the tours together. So you could say, Rebecca, you know a thing or two about China.
A little bit, yeah.
So tell us, we're all intrigued. It's a big country, so much to see and do. But if we're a first timer, if we've never been to China before, where do we start?
I would have to say our 16-day fully inclusive Wonders of China tour. It starts in Beijing and ends in Shanghai, and it takes in all the iconic sites in 16 days. It's definitely a perfect introductory tour.
Now that sounds great, Wonders of China. I think it says it all in the title, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? But tell me, Rebecca, on this tour, what can we see? What are the key sites? What's going to get us excited?
Yeah, of course. So key sites on this tour, I'd say Beijing, you get the Great Wall of China. Of course, walking along the Great Wall of China is such an iconic experience. We have the Forbidden City also in Beijing and the Solar Palace. Over in Xi'an, we have the Terracotta Warriors. It really is jam-packed with iconic sites.
So Rebecca, I mean, so much history, so much culture, but across China there is so much more, the modern side, the metropolitan side. What can we expect to see?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on this tour we have a couple of rides on the super fast bullet train. As you're sitting in the comfort of your seat, you're watching the countryside go by, you're watching these massive cities come up, and then you're back to looking at farmers. It's a really great way to travel. And then you get to areas like Shanghai and Chongqing, which are thriving metropolitan areas. It's such a big contrast from the rural scenery that you'll come across. One of my favourite experiences is on the Hangpu River cruise, and you can watch the Shanghai Pudong skyline light up in the neon lights, and yeah, it's a really incredible area.
Rebecca, it sounds amazing. Culture, history, thriving, modern. But when we get away from that, into the rural areas, off the beaten track, ladies and gentlemen, what can we see?
Yeah, well, there's no shortage of it on this tour. So there's a 4-night Yangtze River cruise. You can sit on your balcony with a drink, cruising down the Yangtze River. You got all sorts of scenery along there. You can get off and do some shore excursions, or you can sit back and relax on board your cruise. Then we have other areas like Weilin and Yangshao, and that is just incredible. You have a beautiful limestone cast mountain surrounding you, cruise down the Li River, you get to see the fishermen. When you get off, you're in a beautiful Yangshao with the cobblestone lanes and markets. There's bamboo rafting there. It's a really, really beautiful area.
So Rebecca, it sounds amazing, got to say, love all these experiences. And I know Wendy Woo Tours, ladies and gentlemen, is renowned for getting under the skin of a country and really showing you the authentic, immersive side. What can we expect to see here, Rebecca?
Yeah, I mean, like all of our tours, this one is jam-packed full of cultural experiences. So on this tour, some of my favourite experiences are the hutongs in Beijing, where you go around, wander through all the narrow laneways, and then you'll meet a local family as well to really understand how they live in Beijing. We've got the visit to a jade workshop where you can learn how the precious stone is made. It is known to bring fortune and prosperity, so you'll see a lot of the ladies wearing a jade bangle around their wrists. And lastly would be Xi'an. We've got a dancing performance from the Tang Dynasty, and it is incredible. It's got bright lights, it's got streamers, it's got everything. So a real good cultural experience there.
Take me there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we are touring, we like our food. Food is very important, Rebecca. What is the food like on this tour in China?
The food is the best. It's when we're traveling, we really try and incorporate the local specialties from each region. So in Beijing, you'll see that we have a lot of Peking duck. In Xi'an, we have a dumpling feast. Along the Yangtze River cruise, you get a really nice fusion of European Asian blend on the cruise. And yeah, one thing's for certain, you'll never go hungry.
Rebecca, sounds amazing. Loving wonders of China. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to get off the beaten track. We want to explore under the skin of China. What can you offer us?
I would have to say our 22-day Dreams of Nature tour. This is a go beyond range. It's quite off the beaten track, but it takes in some of the most incredible scenery and sights. It's full of UNESCO World Heritage sites. My favourite parts of the tour, I'd have to say, is in the Guilin Yangtze area that we mentioned earlier. Here is the Longji Rice Terraces, incredible, beautiful terraces, and you spend a few hours hiking through. And if you're lucky, you'll meet one of the Red Yao women, who are an ethnic minority in the area, and they're known for their incredibly long, beautiful hair. We go to Zhengzhaijie, which is actually the source of inspiration for the movie Avatar.
And talking of which, I think we can see it now.
Here we go.
Amazing.
It's just as beautiful as it is in the movies. They don't stray too far away from it. Really beautiful, lots of mountains. You'll go up the Beilong elevator. You'll wander through the national park. So again, really beautiful scenery there. And lastly, I have to say the Nine Villages Valley. It was actually closed due to an earthquake about 4 or 5 years ago, and so it's only just reopening now to the public. There's still limited access, so we're really stoked that we can be taking our guests back to the Nine Villages Valley. But it really is starting to get back that natural beauty again, all the beautiful blue pools, the national park area. So yeah, it's stunning. Great.
Amazing. Sounds fantastic.
Hello everyone, Edison from Yangtze River Victoria Cruise. I can't wait to welcome you back to China after so long. The country is looking better than ever, and everyone is excited to see you. Enjoy the show.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we started today's show, I mentioned to you briefly that there was a biggie coming up, a brand new tour, something never done before, new from Wendy Woo Tours, China by rail. Rebecca, we are super excited about this one. Tell us more. What can we expect on this?
Yes, the China by rail. It's 22 days, and I'm so excited about this tour. It really is incredible. It's travelling majority by bullet train. So I mentioned about the super fast train network earlier. We can sit in the comfort of your seat and watch the countryside go by. Well, this tour has 8 bullet train journeys, travelling predominantly by train throughout the whole country. We also have a ride on the maglev train, which is the world's fastest commercial train, 430 kilometres an hour it reaches, which is incredible. So this tour starts off in Shanghai, so you get all the iconic sites there. And then we go to the Yellow Mountains. So we've been traveling to this area for a number of years, but this is the first time we're incorporating it into a group tour. So we're so excited for that. But this area is beautiful. It's known as the Yellow Mountains due to the glinting off when the sun hits the rocks, it gives off a yellow glow. And this area has been the source of inspiration for poets and artists for many, many years. If you look at all the Chinese literature and paintings, you'll notice it in there. From there, we go then to the Yunnan province. In the Yunnan province, you have Dali, Lijiang, and Kunming, and these areas again are full of UNESCO World Heritage sites and minority groups there as well. And then over to Chengdu, where we get to see the beautiful, lovable pandas. If you're lucky, you'll get to see the baby pandas out playing one day. And finishing up in Xi'an and Beijing. So yeah, you get a lot in 22 days and some really beautiful, some of the most incredible rail journeys that China has to offer.
That sounds totally amazing, totally amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it there, China by rail. And that is also in the new brochure, the new collection out now from Wendy Woo Tours. Do check the website and make sure you order that brochure. Rebecca, thank you so much for your time today. It's been fascinating, absolutely loved it.
My pleasure, I've loved being here, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Lee Holden and I'm the Head of Marketing at Wendy Woo Tours. Today it's my real pleasure to introduce you to 3 of the new private tours in our new brochures. With our private tours, as with all of our tours, you'll benefit from all of the experience in bringing you the best itineraries, staying in the best hotels and enjoying the best experiences as you travel along. The main difference is that you travel when you want and with who you want. Besides this flexibility, you'll also benefit from the undivided attention of your own knowledgeable private guide. You'll also stay in centrally located hotels, meaning you can explore right from your doorstep and enjoy a more intimate and independent travel experience. Lastly, there's much more flexibility where you dine. Breakfast and lunch are included on the tour, but the choice of where to have dinner is entirely yours, allowing you access to restaurants not available to larger group tours. So, let's jump into a whistle-stop tour around 3 of our private tours that are bound to become firm favourites in these new brochures. We start with a glimpse of China, a 10-day tour that explores the sights, savours the delicious flavours and discovers the culture of China's iconic trinity, Shanghai, Xi'an and Beijing. Just some of the highlights include admiring Shanghai's bright lights, wandering amongst the picturesque alleyways and canals of the sleepy water town of Zhujiaojie, coming face to face with the awesome spectacle of the Terracotta Army, walking on the ramparts of the Great Wall of China and marvelling at the incredible panoramas, spending time with the locals in the traditional Hutong district of Beijing, and exploring the beautiful summer palace. Of course, we'll fill your tour with unforgettable experiences. Jade has long been a sacred stone to the Chinese people, bringing fortune and prosperity to those who wear it. On this tour, you'll visit a jade factory, where you can learn more about its origins, its importance, and how it's crafted. You'll venture into Beijing's atmospheric old neighbourhoods, the Hutongs, exploring the narrow alleyways and visiting the traditional courtyard house of a family, who'll give you a glimpse into their daily life. And you'll step back in time to relive the majesty of the Tang dynasty, of which Xi'an was a prosperous and glorious capital, with a colourful spectacular of traditional music and dancing. Next, we move on to our 14-day Pandas and Yangtze private tour. As the name suggests, combining 2 of China's most popular experiences, the scenic beauty of the Yangtze River and the adorable giant pandas, alongside Beijing and Shanghai, this private tour is the perfect China highlights package. You'll explore both sides of Shanghai, fascinating history and the awe-inspiring futuristic skyscrapers. We'll watch giant pandas play at Chengdu's famous Panda Conservation Center, which allows you to see and learn about China's celebrated bears up close in surroundings that mirror their natural habitat. You'll meet the Terracotta Army and discover the historic wonders of the ancient Silk Road city of Xi'an, and explore the imperial history of the Forbidden City in Beijing and walk on the Great Wall of China. Unforgettable experiences on this private tour include exploring the narrow cobbled lanes of Shikoku, Old Town in Chongqing, a district known for its porcelain production during the Ming and Qing dynasties, as well as its traditional architecture, and a cruise through the Kutangwu and Xiling Gorges, otherwise known as the Three Gorges, admiring the magnificent scenery from the comfort of your Yangtze River cruise vessel. Lastly, we come to the 16-day China Marvels tour, the perfect choice for someone who wants to see and do it all. With the help of China's fast and efficient bullet train network and slower-paced river cruises, tick a number of the country's must-see sites off your bucket list, from the Great Wall and Terracotta Warriors to the Three Gorges and the Li River. In your magical 16 days in China, you'll walk on the Great Wall, watch giant pandas play, face the Terracotta Army in Xi'an, admire the beautiful landscapes of Guilin, cruise the Yangtze River, and admire Shanghai's bright lights. This tour is crammed full of wonderful experiences. You'll indulge in a feast of Peking duck, tuck into a delicious feast of Beijing's best-known dish, a food that offers a true taste of imperial China and a long-time favourite of locals and visitors alike. A unique way to experience a particularly scenic part of the Great Wall, you can soar up to the summit by a scenic chairlift or cable car ride and walk on the ancient stones, immersing yourself in the magnificence of its engineering and the landscapes it crosses. Then, choose a thrilling descent by toboggan ride or the more serene cable car. You can zoom across China aboard a super-fast bullet train on what is the world's longest high-speed rail network, travelling up to 350 kilometers an hour in comfort and style. A fitting way to see a super nation.
I've been very fortunate that I've had 2 long tours already with Wendy Woo, 4 weeks in China and 4 weeks in South America, both on my own, and they were absolutely fantastic, to the extent that I almost don't want to travel with any other company now, because I just feel everything is so well organised, from the initial booking to getting safely back to England. The guides are superb. The range of activity suits me perfectly. So there's some history, some geography, quite a lot about the culture of the area, the opportunity to try things, whether it's dance, music, cooking. Every day brings a new delight, really. And I do feel so well looked after. If there's any sort of problem, like in the run-up to this trip, I was worried about COVID and what would happen if I tested positive, what would happen if I had to isolate. And the logistics department answered all my queries immediately and was so reassuring and made me feel confident that people would help me every inch of the way. And that has been the case, actually. It's been marvellous to be so well looked after. I love that the meals are included, so I don't need to start wandering around at night on my own, trying to find somewhere for dinner in a strange area. I love it that all the entries are included, so there's not this big debate about should I, shan't I, how much is it going to cost, how much money do I need to take with me. I've hardly spent anything, to be honest, just incidental expenditure. So I think the value for money, which is not my main priority, but it is also extremely good.
gentlemen, what a show we've had today. It's been so much fun seeing China, hearing about the tours and the experiences with Wendy Woo Tours, and of course that new China brochure, which is available now. If you haven't got it already, please check on the website and make sure you do order that brochure. But that's just the first part of the show. Now we're going over to our VIP travel lounge. If you scroll down on your screen now, you'll see the red button. Press the red button and you'll be taken straight through to the lounge. And this is your opportunity now to really speak to the China travel experts. The China team are ready, they're waiting to meet you and to answer all your questions on anything that you've seen on today's show. So really good opportunity. And also it's good you'll meet the other guests as well, so a chance to mingle. After all, it is a travel show. I'm Andy, I've been your host on today's show. Really enjoyed it and I look forward to seeing you now in the travel lounge. Thank you.
We found Wendy Woo to be spot on from start to finish, with all the actual interactions from the booking to the preparation for the trip to arriving at the airport. It's been painless and faultless. Wendy Woo, they really do look after you.
I've been on other tours before and yeah, Wendy Woo definitely includes sort of a lot more, it makes it a lot easier.
I liked the idea of what Wendy Woo offered. They have an excellent reputation. So I looked at a number of other tour companies, but Wendy Woo seemed to be the best.
Everything being included is really important. It makes it very, very easy and you don't have to worry.
I just felt confident that that Wendy Woo would know, the best places to go and the best things to do, and it's proved so far on the trip. It's proved correct.
I've been really impressed with not only right from the start when I rang up to book, the staff in the office were really helpful, just kind of organising things and making sure that we got all the right paperwork in.
Our national escort was Lily. Lily's been fantastic, so full of energy and so helpful. She calls us Lily's family. She's always referring to us as Lily's family. And I think she's really helped us actually bond as a group, which made the whole trip much more enjoyable.
The Great Wall was extraordinary. It genuinely brought tears to my eyes, looking out and seeing, understanding the history, and just seeing how it was built in inhospitable terrain across the mountain ridges. It was awe-inspiring.
Wendy Woo staff, the local guides, our national guide Lily, they've been more than helpful on many occasions and they have done absolutely everything they can to ensure that we've had the trip of a lifetime.
I hugged a panda, which was an amazing experience and one that I will never forget.
I recommend Wendy Woo Tour to everybody and tell them that if they want to go to China, nobody better than Wendy Woo Tour.
I will recommend Wendy Woo. It's been a terrific experience with them. I've been very pleased.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I'd recommend it to people that want to go on an adventure and visit somewhere they'd probably only see once, but to see the authenticity rather than just the tourist highlights that you could see internet.
I will certainly recommend Wendy Woo Tours when I go back to England. In fact, I'm sure we'll be going on more Wendy Woo Tours because we want to go to Vietnam and other places and see Wendy Woo do those tours. So we'll certainly be booking again with Wendy Woo.